Hello everyone and welcome to the 2020 Idlewild Open presented by Dynamic Discs. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, alongside Matt Grayum. And Matt, we've got a great card here today.
Oh yeah, we do. Garrett Gurthie, Calvin Heimburg, these are crushers out there. We got R1F9 Oakley, and then rounding out the card, we've got Clemons. These are some really good players. We were lucky to film them.
And we are at one of the best courses in the United States, one of the highest rated courses you'll find anywhere. We're in Burlington, Kentucky for the Idlewild Open. Here's hole number one, 638 feet. And what a beautiful opening hole. There's some danger off to that left side, and then it slopes down and off to the right as well. The tournament director was saying that it used to be really rough on that right side, and it's cleaned up throughout the years. And of course, you got an elevated pin to get you started as well. Here's Double G.
Seems like the play is to throw a high-speed driver and just let it kind of flip out just a little bit and ride all the way down and hopefully give yourself an easy three. But in this case, Garrett's just doing Garrett things.
First drive of the day.
He proclaims with a smile on his face it was his first drive of the day. I believe that is a Wraith. And he threw it just about 620 feet. No big deal.
Yeah, as you can see here, one of the problems with having such a big arm, you're going to flip your discs over and you're going to catch those trees on the right, but you should still be able to save your three out of there.
Yeah, this really sets up great for a big arm. They could be looking at an eagle opportunity, but even with a less than ideal tee shot, you should be able to still walk away with a birdie.
Chris just laying it down the middle of the fairway. Eric's probably hoping to do the same thing, maybe a little further. It seems like the righties have, I wouldn't call it an advantage here, but they might be able to get a little bit more play out of their disc.
Watching a little bit of a flex line there. Clemons with a standstill.
And the green here rolls away if you throw long, and so the play here is to try to hit a little bit shorter and just skip right up to the basket without rolling away down the backside.
You don't see too many standstill, just kind of touch forehands by Heimburg, but he makes it look pretty easy.
So Calvin just laid up his second shot, and Eric's doing the same thing, and hitting the pin there, and Garrett is still yet to throw.
Just that great start. Clemons on the board with the birdie. This comes in as the 16th most difficult hole on the course, so certainly one of the easier ones.
Great putt out of Eric, too, getting this putt out of the way on the first hole of a big tournament, uphill, elevated basket. Good to see him do that. And here is an eagle bid from Garrett Gurthie, just trickling in over the top of that basket. But walking away with an eagle, the start of a tournament, has to do something for your confidence.
Yeah, and he said that was his first drive of the day. I think he was being serious. That's incredible that he, just did a little practice putting, maybe played a little catch. And Heimburg, I think his pizza's cold. He talks about putting the pizza in the oven. Walks away with the par nonetheless. So we move over hole number two. This one comes in at 601 feet. And this is obviously a two-shot hole. You're not going to see any 620-foot drives here. You've got the low ceiling. You've got water short of the green. And then they pushed it back. This one is in a newer position than what we've seen in previous years.
It's all about the placement on this first shot. Getting clean out of the first couple 100 feet, and hopefully, it looks like he trickled through there, but hopefully making out into this grassy portion of the fairway just before the walkway.
The walkway is not out of bounds.
Very nice. Push forward. All day.
That'll work, and this does come in as the second most difficult hole out here on the course. You got to throw two great shots and then maybe even have a tester putt if you're looking at a birdie here.
And Terry, that's one of those great shots right there. Eric setting himself up very nicely for I believe it's new this year, the adjusted pin location, just a little bit further back than we're used to. It looks as if forehand is probably the play to set yourself up.
Yeah, even someone as powerful as Calvin with his backhand eagle, for instance, or whatever, somewhat surprising to see him go with just a little dump forehand.
So Garrett in not the best position on his approach there, but giving himself an opportunity to walk away with the birdie.
Pretty smooth for Clemons, putting himself just inside the circle. And as we pan over there, you look, that's a significant slope. So you're going to have a little bit of a knee knocker there.
This definitely plays into these professionals' mindset when they're throwing, that they do not want something that's going to come in fast and skippy. And what he just did right there, with even that slower disc sliding down the hill, it played exactly to what he was trying to do.
And Oakley is blessed with, when you push it a little further up the fairway here, Oakley is blessed with flat footing, as opposed to the other three guys that had some, uphill incline. And you see Double G not taking any chances to negate that eagle he started with.
Great putt out of Chris. And back to Garrett, I mean, that's a true pro play there. Just to lay up, walk away, knowing what you need to do.
Yeah, and Double G has a little bit of a hyzer putt in the first place. So if there's a likelihood of anyone's putt getting up and rolling, I would say it's his. And you got to love the discipline there early.
You can hear Eric Oakley in the background talking about getting his pizzas going early there. So
I'm hungry already.
Garrett cleaning out the par there.
Now we move over to hole 3, so we actually walk up the hill just to throw slightly back down it. This one is 407 feet. You find a little bit of OB just short of the pin. You've got a low ceiling. It feels like there's a little bit more room out to the right on this, but that might bring that creek into play a little bit more. Of course, the road OB long. I've never seen anyone go back there, but knock on wood. Maybe we won't this round.
There are ace runs to be had on this hole. We've seen them in the past. And doing exactly what Chris did is the easy birdie, but not easy to accomplish.
Yeah, you really need to throw this with the nose down, and I think that's when you get into trouble. Is some people get the nose up and it flails off.
So you can hear Calvin mentioning that he didn't hit the line that he wanted to, and it appears as if he ended OB here, which is going to give him a look just at circle's edge for the par.
And you see he is no more than 2 or 3 feet out of bounds there after he hung it out a little bit wide. And Double G releases that one low, and it cut rolls, so at best he's looking for a layup from there.
So where Eric just threw from was a result of his early release drive, but he's still going to give himself a look at par here, which is really important for these pros to be able to do, to set down any round that they would like to.
Calvin can possibly make up for the mistake here if he can can this putt.
Great putt out of Calvin, and you notice he's wearing that neck gaiter, which also can work as his face mask. The Pro Tour has some pretty strict policy on that, and these guys were doing great throughout the whole round. So it's interesting to have to wear that while you're putting, which I guess he could choose to take it off, but these guys are professionals, and they're doing amazing with it.
Being that we are in phase 1 restrictions here, playing with the COVID-19 guidelines as Clemons puts in for the easy birdie. Yeah, all the players just trying to keep them as safe as possible. You see that there's not any spectators out there. Players are not allowed to have caddies for the event. There's just, like I said, a number of restrictions to try and keep our touring professionals as safe as possible. Huge shout out to otbdisc.com. As we move over to hole number 4, very short walk actually from hole 3. It says 432 feet, but the funny part about this is during the live round that we were broadcasting on the Disc Golf Network, Kevin Jones actually turned to me and he said, there's no way that's 432. That's got to be at least 460. As he was saying that, he felt inferior as he was throwing to the pin there. So either way, it plays 450 minimum.
Yeah, it's a full drive for these guys, and if they don't get a hold of the disc exactly the way they wanted to, they're going to end short by 100 feet, leaving them with the easy 3. Some of them maybe a decision on a long jumper for the 2, but we'll see what comes up here. Eric throwing a forehand, and it looks like he got that either nose up or just released it early, setting himself up for a pretty easy 3.
I think you're being too nice. I think he was just scared of the water.
Yeah, the water does play the whole left side, so the way you and I would throw it, it would be in our heads for sure.
That's just low by Double G. It looked like he, maybe put it on a bad angle right out of his hands. It didn't really have a chance at all to hook up at the end for him.
So Eric's really been on target. He continues to put it right on the pin there. He kind of joked about it a little bit. Hey, stop doing that. I don't want it to roll away. But good for him for being so accurate.
Yeah, and these appear to be just routine layups as Calvin's checking the wind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real decision here. Professional or not, you want to focus on hitting, and that was a great bid, but focus on hitting the putt. But you could tell he put that up with a little more loft in hopes that if he did miss, he would still have his easy par.
Beautiful backdrop. You see the light winds. Temperatures in the mid 80s right now, actually the low 80s, and more importantly, low humidity. And that's not something we're necessarily used to at this course or at this event. And we're going to move over to the 11th most difficult hole. Hole number 5 coming in at 555 feet. And you're all about the placement here. You need to get to basically that tree, the big one that we just went past. I feel like that's really the attack zone. You get there or beyond, and then maybe you can play into this green. Otherwise, it seems like you're going to be doing a layup of sorts.
We've seen some players in previous years, some of the big arms, try to put something up and over the top and maybe crash down through the trees. We've got some big arms coming up here in just a minute. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Very solid forehand out of Eric Oakley.
Yeah, as you would expect. I mean, just one of the most proficient forehanders we have out there. And there's that big tree I was just talking about. We saw Clemons come up pretty close to it as well.
Hold on, dude. Stay up.
And that cut rolls out and flirts with the creek that runs throughout. Double G.
Putting down a roller. He just got his angle off by just a little bit, but he's down there. He's probably going to be able to scramble, but these trees are not a joke. And as you can see there, there's OB surrounding this green as well, which unfortunately just received a disc.
I was thinking you need an all but heroic effort from someone in order to get the 2 here, and sure enough, there were just 2 2s on the day, and pretty incredible. Ricky Wysocki threw one in from 102 feet, and that one almost went in as well.
I heard Chris mention, I think it was after this hole, that his plan is to do what he just did here, to lay up his second shot short to give himself a look for the 3 as opposed to trying to get onto the green. Great putt out of Eric there. That's a great birdie to get. He is starting out pretty strong here. Excited to see what the rest of the round looks like.
He's hitting 3 down already through 5. Clemons will remain at 3 under.
Now, you couldn't tell very easily in the footage, but the reason why Calvin's actually on the green, if you understand the rules, is because he was inbounds on this side at one point. That tree he's standing next to, he actually struck that tree and went OB. So that's why he takes it from the green area.
Just like that, we're through hole 5. We play to the blind hole number 6, uphill to the right. There's a little bit of everything on this hole. 437 feet, and we've seen some creative plays out of this. We've seen big turnover shots. I've seen the likes of a Paige Pierce put it all the way up there on the green. I see rollers quite often, forehands, a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, the roller does seem to be like the option to get there I wouldn't say the easiest, but one of the better ways to get yourself the distance and to ensure that you kind of roll out. In this case, Eric rolled out a little early, but giving yourself a chance at getting over there on this hard turn. Now, this lefty forehand gives you the perfect flight path to get there. Unfortunately, hitting this underground culvert, it kept him from being probably what would have been parked.
I think there's some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in there.
Warming up Calvin's pizza.
Cowabunga. That one lands in that same vicinity. And now here's double G.
All right, here's a roller. As we talked about, giving yourself a great opportunity to burn one out early on the basket like that. And just like that, he's at circle's edge. We're just inside.
Anyone that's picking up a birdie here is seemingly picking one up on most of the field. 68% are pars, and there's a just off the front of the basket for Clemons, but 68% of the field taking a par here.
A few missed putts here, but they were good, decent bids that, unfortunately, there's a third. You can see the discs surrounding the basket there. Great cleanups here. They're all going to get their pars.
Calvin, is he wandering around aimlessly? Oh, okay, no, he was just waiting to clear. Okay, those are COVID rules. I like that. We can appreciate that.
Some players, I think competition pumps them up and amps them. I'm convinced that for Calvin Heimburg, it actually calms him down competition, which is why I think he does so great.
He's just there to psych everyone out. We move over to hole number 7, 484 feet. This is a beast. You're really looking to land right about here with a perfect shot. If you throw a really good shot, you get over that low-lying area, and then you might have a look shooting straight up this alley. And I know I sound like a broken record, but so many placement shots out here, especially off the tees.
You're going to see forehands just like Eric did. You're going to even see backhands on this hole. But as you mentioned, this area where the camera angle realistically is looking is where you would like to place yourself to give yourself a chance at getting the birdie.
Yeah, and any early tree hits, if you don't make it through this gauntlet, you could very, very easily find yourself kicking and going out of bounds. And then you move to a drop zone, and it's not pleasant from there.
Yeah, where Calvin is going to be very tough to realistically even get par.
Thank you.
That was a great shot by Double G.
Another tree direct, and you didn't see it on camera there, but he actually got some significant distance forward off of that. Not where he wanted to be, but I think there was a little bit of tree love involved there.
And I know I spoke of it on hole 2, but what a shot by Double G. Anytime you're throwing uphill and you have to be accurate, like just getting that timing down. And Oakley, conversely, didn't have to worry about necessarily that with his footwork because he's able to stand there with a forehand.
So Idlewild plays pretty technical in the woods, but when you find yourself in the rough at Idlewild, it's a whole nother story. Calvin's just excited to finally get out of that rough.
It is not uncommon if someone's not playing well for them just to pitch out into the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
Or into the middle of the basket if you're Clemons. What a 3.
Yeah, that's a great birdie to be had. I mean, just even having the opportunity to bid on a birdie on this hole means you placed your drive right where you wanted and your second shot as well. Gotta love it. He knows he was just gifted one there with just leaning the correct way on the edge of that rim.
When you're as happy-go-lucky and as friendly as Double G, even the baskets love you. And that's what, he's getting a little basket love on that one.
Yeah, you can't buy that love.
No.
It's all about the player.
You can't buy that distance he has either. So we move over to hole number 8, 576 feet. This is a par 5. It's had some debates throughout the year, but if you're trying to get a good shot, you want to land just about there. And now you got to get all the way through this second set of trees in this gauntlet. So really it plays right to left to the landing zone and then left to right up to the pin. You're going to use every tool in your bag of tricks here.
Speaking of tree love, that was a great ricochet there for Chris Clemons. Now, right where the camera's looking is an ideal, optimal placement, but it's very tough to get there. You'll often see people do a forehand flex shot, but not Garrett. Let's see where he ends up.
That should work for him. It looks like he barely put any power on that.
Now, this is the play that I was just talking about. It gives yourself a chance to make the first corner and continue to fly and flex out to that opening just beyond all this first gap of trees. Now, what Calvin just did there was an amazing drive. So he set himself up for an opportunity to maybe look at an Eagle 3.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. We've seen this one debated for a few years. I've seen this as listed as a par 5 and as a par 4 throughout the years, and I think that debate will probably rage on for a while. It did play at 4.7 today with 132 people playing it. So either a really difficult par 4 or a slightly easier par 5 is maybe what you would determine this to be.
And remember, these are the best players in the world. To average 4.7 just tells us that this is really a tough hole. And for Calvin to be able to get that disc, to hit the flight path that exactly as he wanted and to skip up right to about 10 feet from that basket is just amazing.
So Calvin's on the dance floor looking at an eagle. Calling for a little help there. Here's Clemons. And it seems like his putter's been so hot. Surprised actually to see him not convert, but Double G does, and he'll walk away with a birdie.
Eric continues to play very well, grabbing another birdie. This whole card is actually playing really well. It's almost like they chose it knowing that it was going to be such a great card.
Yeah, as if we had any sponsor influence or YouTube channel influence. Super glad to be here actually with all of these great competitors, and Heimburg's going to start moving along when he's picking up 2 strokes at a time. We move over to hole number 9, 258 feet. arguably most famously known for the James Conrad turnover ace from the 2019 Idlewild Open. And you're really just playing straight down the gap. If you can get it to turn over a little bit to the right without burning it out, you may be looking at a birdie putt. And here's Heimburg.
It might look tight on coverage, but I can assure you, in person, it's even tighter. To know that James aced it and that Garrett just places it right up there. I think that was his sonic, just trusting it the whole way, just to slide up there and nestle right with it. And an almost ace run. This hole is being fantastic. As tight as it is, this is amazing.
And then Clemons, who throws a really good shot and a great line and gets the little backboard action off the tree behind the pin. You can't argue with that.
Eric definitely gave himself an opportunity there, and it's never easy when you hit the front rim, especially when you see others walking away with the birdie. But it was a good effort nonetheless.
A couple birdies here on the card, as you mentioned, and thank you guys for joining us. Thanks to the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Of course, Dynamic Disc, our presenting sponsor, the Natty, and everyone here at the Idlewild Open. We hope you'll join us for the back nine of round number 1. Like, share, and subscribe. And tell us what your favorite hole is on the front 9 to be eligible to win a disc. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and I hope you enjoyed the coverage here from the Idlewild Open. Got to thank our commentators and, of course, all of the tour supporters and sponsors out there, and our presenting sponsors in the Natty and Dynamic Disc. Click up here because we're going to have a playlist for all the action here throughout the weekend, and also make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That's going to make you eligible to win some free Disc Golf Guy swag. Again, appreciate you guys watching. Looking forward to being here all weekend.